big implications here, Gus.
No, absolutely. The highest of implications, of course, purely for Ender, but of course for the gamers on the server, we are looking at a brand new map for Luminosity in this stage so far. And like you said, the stakes are high. It's still #1 seed on the line for either one of these two teams. And like I said, we've landed on Split.
Yeah, it has been a while for Luminosity, and the composition is interesting, to say the least. Seeing a complete lack of initiators is a difference from the direction a lot of teams are taking. The value of Fade Raise, Breach Raise, just how much you can get out of combining that paint shells with initiator abilities has been huge. And you see OpTic very much taking advantage of that one. For LG, though, the dive will have to be their key to success, as in the pistol round here. They set up over towards B main, make contact with the knife in mid, but not too much further committed yet.
One thing going into this game is that Luminosity, even though they haven't played Split in almost 2 months, it's the exact same comp from when we last saw it. Not a lot has changed for the agents that we're looking at right now. It's still very much prevalent, but here comes a bit of that combination on the front side. You do get the fragment grenade alongside the pole, but still Luminosity slowly making their way into the back side. Victor might be here for a couple of frags too, and it's a meat grinder alongside Crashies. 2 more players are able to pop, but Victor is able to get 4 free ones. Dazzle's the last one remaining, but he goes down in a heap. OpTic with a big first round.
I want to paint you a picture here, Gus. I want you to imagine a society.
Go for it.
In which Luminosity Gaming had a flash there. Any flash. Like, literally any kind of flash from any of their agents. They didn't have that. They just have to go diving through the smoke, and it's great work by OpTic initially to stagger with the utility, slow down that push in main between the fragment and the grab well, and by the time that Luminosity is deep committed into the site, everyone is there. A crossfire is set up in the backlines, and this comp for LG, well, they're great at closing the gap. The gap closing abilities had been used early to get Mata and B-Dog out, so they had nothing to break through that smoke.
Well, that first, it's just the fact that that smoke ended up coming out. Such a difficult position to actually pop out of, no matter what. Even if they did have the flash, so many angles to try to clear out. And back over in mid, it's a very similar scenario. They have to pop out of this mid smoke. Barely any info. They're not going to be able to use a flash with it. 2 players over in heaven have the cross.
Pretty passive setup here by OpTic. You'll often see just Victor and Crashies working in conjunction when they have this neon rotating around the map, using that flash and the jump off run to try and clear out some space. Bit of a trap play in towards heaven. No one was deeply committed, but that's information garnered. And the stack of utility just continues. Out comes the conk from the neon. Now a stun queued up. There's just so much to get Bass in towards heaven, but Luminosity's done a good job at clearing it out. Now they'll head back towards the A site, but contact made. Yay has the angle.
Oh, yay! Has to line up 2 or 3 of them, but only able to get one and take from behind, actually taking down Marved! FNS! A little pixel peek, and B-Dog immediately slaps him down. OpTic, this is a big buy round for them, and they're the ones down a man, but they do have the spike.
30 seconds they do, and they still have utility to work with here. A flash, that knife will be on the recharge, as well as the conk for the neon of Victor. They've bought time, but Luminosity, 3 strong, will just retake towards heaven. Crashies in a position where he can't really aid Victor with that flash through. I think the spike is just going to have to be conceded, and Luminosity will look to book it over towards B, but they're playing against the neon. Victor is faster. He'll have the line. He needs to go big.
Oh, and he's there, and he could be in the back of sight. By the time they get there, they might have spotted him. Victor can easily deny this. At just about 4 seconds, did it even go down in time? It might not even matter. Victor gets all 3.
Very well played. The rotation on the neon perfectly timed to shut things on down, although maybe a little bit of a fumble in the early round there for OpTic, unaware of the chance that someone could have been re-pushing through mid, so a bit of a risk taken in that space. Regardless, very good work from OpTic to be able to fix things on through, and off that loss, they're going to elect to reinvest at least a little bit into this round. They have Victor's ult online, maybe attempt an aggressive play with that. They give Ye a Vandal to back it up. This is a potent round. You see, they're queuing up over towards mid, maybe pop that overdrive, run things down. They clear space very quickly, realize this is a hit over towards A, and then it's just Ye with the Vandal in a position to thrive.
For how strong of a round this might be with the guns, OpTic, or excuse me, yeah, OpTic, they're going to have yet another buy round after this, but here comes Ye on the front lines, going to be able to get one, but only the one. Yeah, that's such a big opportunity for multiple there, but it's going to be a free sight for LG.
So overdrive running low on juice as well, and not too much to get it out on towards sight. Still, a couple flashes here. Crashies queued up towards heaven in the back lines. Flash available as well for FNS, but still, the gun's lacking. This is a good spot for LG.
See what the reaction is here. These rifles should be big in these close corners.
Oh,
no way. Mata still peeks on back, still flicks back and gets the kill. So tragic for Victor. But Moose does hold it down in the middle side. Is able to take down one. Tig popping out, able to take down Crashies. Now the 1v1, and he nails it. OpTic so close to scrapping together. Such a big round, but LG keep it together.
Oh, if that kill in the corner comes through, that's a completely different round. Being able to pivot so quickly, get a frag there for B-Dog, saves Luminosity Gaming and sets Tig up for the clutch. OpTic Gaming did put an investment into that round, but it was just a hero rifle, so they'll be able to keep money in the tank still. We're seeing the value in this composition with the double flash and the neon. So good at reclaiming space. Moose, I mean, honestly, just gets lucky in being able to find that. His crosshair was lined up. He was fully blinded. Gets the right opportunity. Too little issues there. The core OpTic, despite their guns, push that round to the limit. LG is on the brink of losing out on money here as both their dive agents will work space in towards mid. This is a trap play, though. Victor breaks contact. Flash comes through. FNS has it queued up.
It's ready. 3 players looking to peek. Crashy's going out. It's going to be alongside Victor, but it works out for 2. 3 kills for FNS. It's on his own. He escapes, too.
Yeah, Spike will be recovered. Now the round just resets. And it's on the clock. They know that FNS is wounded. He'll regroup with his team over towards the B site. Yay, alone in the defensive A, but he has rendezvous to get one, get out, as well as a trip towards heaven. Tig is aware of it. Smoke it off. Can he get past it? I think he doesn't actually still have that shrouded step, so he's not going to be able to cross past that trademark. It's instead just being used for Moose to walk up, but Yay, he's so aware of this. He heard the smoke. He holds the angle. Great work out of Yay.
Shot. So sharp. Out of Yay.
He knows too.
Has yet another opportunity now at the 1v1 Sig. Position fully known, but with 30 seconds left, he does have this time. This is a decent idea, but Yay, he's TP'd all the way back toward his spawn to try to help, to try to fight against Tig. Actually did work out. Tig now down to 54.
Still stars, a stun, as well as the aftershock here. They actually elected
they're
the
just
ult.
gonna
Off
use
the
it.
spike you go.
And he's still trying to plant, still trying to somehow get out. He's stunned, no longer stunned. But in the middle of that chaos, bullets come raining in. FNS with a 4K on the round, and OpTic with a 3rd round.
What a big round there out of FNS. The trap play initially goes somewhat wrong. There was 2 players tucked in towards the cubby. They don't get blinded in mid. Regardless, FNS continues the push, crucially stays alive, and some good work, good awareness out of Yay to anchor things down over towards the A side. That was a pivotal round for LG. It slips away from them, so onto the eco they go. Bladestorm is available for B-Dog. We know what that man can do, as it looks like just want to blitzkrieg space in towards mid. No trap setup this time. Instead, just the KO going to pop out that early knife. Full rotations off it.
Talk about the timing of the trick play, by the way, of the trap play over in mid. Full reset now for LG. OpTic, they don't need to do any sort of tricky business. No pushes at the moment. It's LG that needs to reach deep into their strat book. That flash does go out, but Crashies doesn't peek with it.
Yeah, and the thing is, they didn't make noise. They weren't afraid of it. No one ran. No one made a step. So still, unknowing our OpTic, they expect this to be a play that's going to finish in towards mid. 3 players posted on that side. That means a more vulnerable site here, and B-Dog already out in heaven with the blades. Yeah, he's isolated, but he's still getting the job done.
And yeah, he's just going to keep going. He's just a turret on top of the screen. No way he could get more. 2 more players up in heaven. They do get the kill long range with that frenzy, but they still have FNS in the back of sight to deal with. Tig, he is a close and personal with that stinger, and it could be able to do damage, and indeed it does. Spectre coming out to try to trade out, but it doesn't work out. Moose with only 34 HP looking for a couple of headshots, but it's not going to work out. It's expected here, 4-1.
Nice setup there by LG. Don't make noise in towards mid, walk up slowly. They know exactly where that trademark is going to be. Smoke it off, creep past, but again, Yay, just a linchpin as this a anchor. I love that he varies his setup so frequently. Last round he was tucked deep in sight, playing the front box. Now he's up top. Now in this one, he's playing over towards mid. He has a flash for contact. OpTic will show you so many different setups, and the initiators really allow it. The fast pivots are the strength of this comp. When you have the neon, you have the breach that can stun pretty much anywhere on the map from pretty much anywhere.
And that stun, that's pretty much going to lead LG to think that B main is getting pushed.
Yeah. Exactly that. The orb hasn't been tapped or anything, so we'll soon know, but at least that fear factor is there, and because FNS uses it so early in the round,
definitely going to use it.
Then we'll be back up soon.
It's dangerous. LG could waste as much util as they want clearing that out, if they clear that out. But over towards the mid side, Mana gets taken down by Yay, immediately revive though. Yay isn't actually over back in mid. LG are back down to the default.
Still, there's a trademark there. Yay is cozy and conceding that space, falling back, rotating towards B heaven. 2 players anchoring on each site, and hey, they're forward. Contact can be made here by the Neon. Either flash or the knife from the KO to follow. Noise is being made off that cam, so OpTic is suspicious of what's going on in main.
These positions are so tight for OpTic here. One contact from either one of these two players, and it's an immediate push. Crashy's on this front side. Oh no, he has to right-click that flash, and he ends up getting caught with his pants down. But Victor, over in heaven, he actually just dropped the spike. Is he actually going to be able to control it, though? There's 3 players in the middle of the site that could control, but Victor dashes his way in to take down the only player in A main that can stop him. But Tig, well done off the push to take back the spike. Will they actually get the spike down, though?
Noise was made on that drop, and both players now noted that they are out of heaven. It could have been a fake, so still cautious, but this timer is now a huge issue. Only 10 seconds left to get this spike down, and look, FNS still has big utility.
He's got to walk around elbow. He's finally going to make it. 5 seconds left, okay. The Nova Pulse comes in. He's going to be able to plant it. The damage is not enough. Tig is all good. Still an even 2v2, but the flash, that's actually a team flash somehow. Still FNS trying to come out in a very awkward battle against Tig and leaves it in a 1v1. B-Dog with the swing. The very last bullet before the dash connects onto FNS. He nails a triple for a second round for LG.
The 1v2, great round to pull things through for Luminosity Gaming. OpTic, just a second too late on that aftershock. I thought it would be the round ender there, but the wind-up time a little too much. Spike ends up being committed. The round slips away, I believe. The Gravo was on recharge, so only that Nova Pulse available, which meant despite the heavy utility investment, no one could actually follow it up, and then OpTic kind of greeting to get rid of that spike planter, separate themselves, and Dog finds himself in a good position to win things on through. Going into the next round, though, Luminosity again playing in towards a bit of a default here. The Cypher does allow it. What they lack in that initiation utility, they very much make up for. Info, at least from that Cypher. Almost always see Moose just chilling out towards A. Trip up, cam up, whatever information is needed. And OpTic doesn't tend to disrespect that, but over towards this B site now. Ye is on a cheeky off angle. We're gonna need to clear him out. And with the rendezvous, you can get one, get out here.
It's just the most obvious angle to try to peek, but no way you would just expect it from Ye. Ye around the corner, able to take down one, and in the middle of that site, that Spectre could have done just a little bit more damage, but Ye somehow still alive. But Dazzle and Moose, they actually equalize the round just a bit more, and actually a bit of an advantage. Big play from Crashies over in mid, though, does take down the one, but these two players from LG, you saw how sneaky they were trying to be, not trying to make a single noise while trying to rotate to A, but instead, one of them gets spotted, but Dazzle has to run! Well, very awkward battle. That wall is going to delay time.
Yeah, but it's not a long wall. It's only one segment that needs to be broken. Crashy's thorough on the jump peak, and yeah, that buys time. Now these rotates are going to be quick in. Dazzle should be able to get this spike down, but he's 8 seconds away. He doesn't have much space. The utility already hounding him down.
He could have actually had a bit of space on A if he wanted to. That nade wasn't actually hitting him, but so Dazzle, he's just forced back into elbow with both players with full control of the A site. OpTic, they squeak by with a 5th.
Really nice work out of OpTic. A lot of these rounds finding a similar identity really late. LG commits fairly heavily in towards a spike plant. We get these late round runs over towards A, and OpTic have proven well to find the retakes in these tight situations. The space control in mid especially has been massive. Constantly there's a trap play set up in that space of the map. It's either Ye holding, trying to dodge out on the Raze utility, or it's a player tucked in, waiting for contact off of a trademark or off of a player to flash forward. It's been really effective to keep LG away from that space in the early round. And I mean, lacking out on mid on this map can be so terrible, especially when you're playing against the Neon, which through defender side spawn, those rotates are almost instantaneous with the sprint.
And with that unpredictability, again, it's just scaring LG from even wanting to approaching that top mid area. Again, they have to just put out whatever blanket util that they want. It has to just be that smoke over in top mid, but nothing's actually helping them out in that case. They're still trying to get in, but they're still going down 1 or 2 players if they actually take the space.
Yeah, and thus far, OpTic are 6-1 in the first kills versus the first deaths. That means LG has only been playing from a man advantage a single time throughout this game. OpTic get these early kills oftentimes towards mid with those aforementioned trap plays, or towards an extremity with Ye finding a pick, and then they just back up. They give so much space because they have the initiator utilities, and they also have Marv to buy time in the post plants.
OpTic now. We are going to go with more or less that same setup from before. We aren't going to see Ye back over towards that mid side, but I more or less just wanted to see if they actually were going to maintain some more pressure back over in mid. It's a lot looser than before.
Yeah, it is, but still, FNS in this position where when you play that corner of heaven, you can instantly stun towards B main. Looks like Marv is going to peek off of it, so he'll just pop up the smoke an edge forward. They've been conditioning with that stun, with that utility before. Normally they don't send a player, so now that B main control, there could be a fast flank in through mid or early rotations. You already see FNS backing away, considering a rotation over towards the safe site.
It's the same thing with Victor too, back over in A. It's two very fast rotators, ready and raring to go if that option even comes down. But Luminosity, although they started off with 3-4 players all the way back over in A, they are converging back over in mid, and not even in default type position. They all are rotating back over in mid.
I want to take this space. They smoke over towards the B heaven side, but they're actually going to walk in towards male. FNS has a really cheeky angle here. Gets one, drops down, stuns it. Ooh, actually not finding the kill. Stun will come through. That's delay. Wall comes up, and nade as well. This utility is so good to stall for OpTic.
That smoke through now can be a big drop. A whole bunch of 50-50s here for OpTic to try to defend against, but they are able to win at least 2 of them. In the back line, you do have the ulti going out for Victor. Lightning thingies again going out, and it works out just fine. 2 kills going in for Victor off of the ulti, but you still have Moose, of course, just with the Sheriff, and it's just that, really. 20 seconds left, 64 HP. Does pick up at least a rifle for his favor. FNS is in the back of sight. Spike is all the way out in the open. His chances are almost completely nullified, and indeed, they're done and dusted. 6-2 back to OpTic.
I hear lightning thingies. Is that like the next generation?
You like that? The lightning thingies?
Yeah, we went just from simple chicken fingers to dino nuggets. What's next? We just keep innovating. We just keep pressing forward.
No, I mean, the evolution of chicken nuggies are honestly, like, it's a thriving market, and I don't really know why we can't have more evolution to it. And Victor, I mean, he brought the next step.
Yeah, faster play coming out, though. Here from OpTic, they have a flash queued up. Neon behind it. Aster here as well. I don't think there's going to be stars involved. It's going to be 3 players thralling towards A. They know the Cypher plays here. Usually alone, they'll try and punish. Spotted out is Moose, but OpTic doesn't overcommit. They realize it's not going to be an early hit over towards A, and now they're worried about the reaction, and that reaction is to come through mid. FNS's job, again, we just saw this play unless they just head towards vents, in which case they're walking in towards 2 players. Crashes and Victor lined up.
Yeah, that's going to be that easy crossfire, but Dazzle going in could have been able to spot one. Opts not to, was just waiting for that is slowly clearing that out though, but this is some good space for OpTic. They have 3 players covering this A area, 2 of them being crossfired up with that mid position, with that elevator push. LG, they're forced to go back.
And again, FNS is on this same angle. This time there's a trademark in deep. Contact he can play off of. Trademark activates. Pops either a flash or a stun or even just an early aftershock to delay. I don't think that was even off noise. Just to buy time. LG will try and push this forward. Now FNS is aware. Stun through, but Victor on the other side spotted a player.
Victor spotting the barrel, but B-Dog pops right out of the stun. He takes down Victor. Watch out, FNS. Still 2 players in mid to deal with. That's a big trade for Tig.
30 seconds left now. There's still 2 players on A. That kill might make Luminosity want to push there, but the correct call here would be B. However, look at Ye. He's still tucked deep in towards main. The teleport
Whoa.
take
Does he even
towards the
spot
back
this
lines, but
TP?
he has to cross Ye. He has to cross Ye. Ye definitely heard that. Now he knows for sure. Ye gets 1 here. Should be able to close out this round, and Spike's on the floor.
Oh, but that was mid TP too! Ye just takes down Tig. B-Dog now looking for a 1v3, and that is just flawless. He does take down Ye, but it's only going to be that. Time is over. OpTic, they take up a 7th. Unfortunate for B-Dog.
7-2. OpTic has been playing Luminosity so well in this matchup. The early aggression there towards A is so tempered. Flash goes over, you get a bit of a commitment by Victor, spots out the Cypher. In a way, well, they don't get any kills off it. They get such good information because they know that the default for Luminosity is a lone Cypher there, have your presence over towards mid. The priorities with this comp for LG are mid control, a heaven control. When they have that, the double dive can leverage that space, get into sites really quickly, but OpTic, not only have they done a good job at that early round info, they've also done a great job at just re-clearing in the late round. I think especially towards B heaven, FNS's utility has been so good to stall there.
I mean, you keep mentioning double dive, but we haven't seen a single round where the quote-unquote dive has even happened. So unfortunate here for LG in terms of actually taking up this early map control, but OpTic, it's what they do best. Very methodical here. It's over in B. It's only Ye just watching out the situation. LG slowly inching up towards him. He's about a pixel or 2 away from spawning almost every single player from Luminosity. It's going to be so awkward once he actually finds this. He needs to TP immediately. Does have 2 players right behind him here in B, though. It should be a good time for him. How is that not a collateral? How is that not anything? That is just so unfortunate. But out goes the Rolling Thunder, and absolutely everyone gets rocked. LG still trying to make their way through to B.
Bullets as well hitting. The slow fields pop out when that chamber op to kill, and now FNS is here. His utility continues to stall, but the push around the pillars, perfection! Mata finds 3 Marved. On the reply, he's fighting back in towards this one. Dazzle needs to take the fight, needs to get this spike down, but OpTic are just staying around. Victor pressing forward, and Dazzle now on the 1v2. He has a fight, but just can't win it.
How does Mata get those kills in the middle there? But that was really the only thing that could have made that round even close to entertaining. OpTic had the right idea in terms of the Rolling Thunder, but not a lot of control actually towards that mid B spot. Luminosity, they were looking pretty much for a free spike play, but in the end, that just didn't work out for him.
FNS has just been the hero time after time when it comes to these hits towards B, these hits towards Heaven. It's always him locking down the space, and you brought up the point that they haven't really ever had a round where they double dive. That's the round where they attempt it. They hear the chamber TP off, they go in quickly. It's just this utility is so oppressive. KO knife in, stun in from the breach. You cannot make early plays here unless you've baited out all that utility, and OpTic is so conservative that that's an incredibly tough challenge.
Couple of players spotted. Crashy's here. Only moving a pixel or 2. He's not being detected just yet in the middle of this cage. He's looking for a big streak here. He's able to get 2. Marved here. A pretty easy job for him. 3 players in front of him as OpTic. Everyone begins to rotate back over towards A. And look at this. The Neon even sliding away. Victor making a whole lot of noise in the back of sewers. Luminosity, though, in compensation for the fact that they just can't take A, they're going up into Heaven, and it's working.
This is the right call. They're doubling back towards the B site. No audio for OpTic because of their own cosmic divide. Now, they're aware what's going on. They hear that rotator coming on through, but LG for once has beaten them to the punch. They have themselves time to set up a good post plant here. The round, though, just beyond Mata. He's lurking deep, sticking around in towards Heaven. A wall to sustain his position, but no utility beyond that for Mata.
Mata just needs the dry frag here, and indeed he'll get it, but Moose still holding down the angle, and he's gonna be able to get both of them. 4K for Moose on the round, and LG are finally back.
It started so well for OpTic as well. That was great. A great understanding of the default for Luminosity. Out of Crashies, that cage gets thrown to every round. And generally when a pop is coming through, or when it isn't, it gets activated. If you're sitting in the cage when it sets off, you don't get an audio cue. So Luminosity would never expect him that close in that position. However, call in the mid-round, just great from LG. They see the cosmic divide come on down, they kill the player in towards Heaven, see an opportunity to rotate, and they stay proactive. They know that with the composition for OpTic, they can't sit back. They have to fight before that initiator utility can find value, and they did exactly that.
They never stopped moving after that Rolling Thunder, or excuse me, after that play in the middle of the cage ended up coming down. Again, just good stuff from LG, but it was more desperate play. Ended up taking space that OpTic essentially allowed back over towards that mid area, but hey, move forward. The last run of the half, and Ye starts it off right.
So many rounds where we've just seen Ye sit in an off angle, chill out, get one, and TP. There's no utility to clear. You have to just walk into the angle, clear things on out on your own. 8 first kills in a row for OpTic now. And Luminosity has only really been able to come back from, 2 of those rounds? It has been ridiculous how good OpTic are starting it, and it's rarely even in the last few rounds utility doing it. Dry play from Crashies. In that one it was just Ye holding the angle. The round before it was also Ye holding onto an angle. OpTic have been so good in these situations, but for LG now, despite the man disadvantage, they have a lot of space here towards B Heaven.
Well, the stun not actually catching Mata, but he still has to run away. Big util here over towards Heaven, pressuring LG away, but they still have plenty of time to potentially dive here. But yay, he's going to be able to strike down 2 over from the Heaven side, and they still have more players to deal with in the middle here. They drop right into FNS's crosshair. He takes down 1, but his B-Dog in a 1v3, make it a 1v2.
B-Dog, he's made noise. Will recover the spike. A wall for safety, though. But I don't think there's time to walk back over towards A. He's going to have to stick to the play towards his B site, and sound cue will be made. Crashies even has the ult available.
That's unbelievable, B-Dog. What is he even looking for here? He's able to catch 1 onto Crashies. Now he just needs 1 more. Marved unknown.
No
he
time.
barely... No! He canceled the plant. He was looking for Marv's wide swing, but Marv knows better. He stays safe in Heaven, and he denies the round for B-Dog. 9-3 to OpTic going into the second half. But a tragic way to finish it off for LG, but they're looking for some luck in the second.
I'm all one for academic honesty, but for Luminosity Gaming, it feels like their composition may be a little stuck in the past. You gotta steal a comp or two to stay ahead. They themselves might know that. Double dive, though, maybe they'll find some better success on defense as Luminosity finds himself down 3-9 in the battle for first seed.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. It's like Luminosity has not been watching Split for the last month and a half, 2 months. Again, this comp is very individual, to say the least. They definitely trust in it, in the fact that they created it themselves, potentially. But yeah, no, maybe a couple of switch-ups might help them out. But here on the D side, they're looking for some big progress, way more than the first half, of course. They start off with 3 rounds, but they start up with a big hold here over in A. It's 3 players crossed up with almost all 5 of OpTic.
You're still on top of this wall, taking a risk for Dazzle, but it does not quite work out. Victor charging forward, a second on the entry, and the A side hold obliterated.
Just like that, Luminosity, they only have 2 more players to try to hold on to the rest of this round. Tig, Moose, trying to slide their way back in, but all 3 players off that hold, going down in one fell swoop. And look at this combo of Util! 2 different stuns. Oh, Molly coming in, or excuse me, a nade coming in at the same time, and FNS just jumping through for the final kill. Double digits for OpTic in a flashy way.
The util combos are, it feels like we are in the meta of cringe combos. And OpTic knows that more than anyone else, right?
Not the cheese, not the trap plays.
Nah, you need more cheese, more trap plays.
No
in
more
NA,
cheese.
It's been so much breach stun into nade combo, seize from your fade into a nade combo.
That's optimal.
You know,
Mimi.
even a neo conk. It is optimal, and it's so fun to watch because OpTic, I would say, is the best drilled team, maybe outside of Ghost, at doing so. For Luminosity, they are just falling victim to those setups over and over again. And when it's not the util, it's just the pace. Victor, not even 10 seconds into the round, already has full control of B main.
Be that for now. Control of B main, not exactly going out just yet. They do take control of orb, but oh, look at this. This is real fast. I don't even know how he makes it through without getting pinged out, but we do have Moose coming up on the flank. Crashies in bottom main. He's gonna go down to the classic, but great trade from Victor. B-Dog actually comes on back, and look at this, a double swing through the smoke in mid. Well, that's certainly gonna work out, at least in the close range. OpTic have 2 remaining.
But Spike is recovered in this one, and Marv is in a position where he can continue explore. A bit of an expedition possible in towards defensive side. It's Ye will plant open. It's optimal for a hold towards heaven. I'd imagine the plan here is to late push the heaven space. At least for one player it is. Ye sticks around on site.
And Marv, is he even going to inch his way up? He's definitely just waiting to see if there's anyone going to be pressing back, rotating back from the A area. But every single person is coming up from heaven, and they place up a wall for the flank. So good. They're able to drop down now, only worrying about the 1v1. Of course, Marv is going to try to break this down. Ye with a big shot, though. Can he get 2? He absolutely gets 2. Dazzle now stuck in a 1v1 as he takes down Ye. Marv is still up in heaven, and he absolutely knows it. And somehow the Nova Pulse barely hits on the very edge. Marv looking for a couple of jump peaks and looking for a couple of headshots. It works out for OpTic as they somehow once again scrap together a round.
LG have the absolute right idea there. First off, going early into the round, the setup in mid is great. Triple swing off the classics. OpTic was stuck with reloads, with util out, and they start things so well. And then when we get in towards the post plant, they have the right idea. They hear where the plant is coming from. They realize a heaven wrap is possible. They wall it off, but Ye is just a monster. Hold space on site, grabs 2. Makes it an easy 1v1 for Marv.
Well played. Again, I said scrap together because OpTic, such a disadvantage near the very end of that. Luminosity, such a close chance once again to steal a second round conversion. Just like we saw in the first half. Already, Victor, control of top ramp. Everyone from LG, not a single person in the middle of this site.
Still in the back lines is Moose.
Yeah, Moose
Strips
does
to play
slide back
off,
in
or
and he
he'll
gets a kill
just
for
swing
it.
it. All right. What a play from the man. Fights forward. Takes down Victor. No trade to be found. And now wrap back towards mid here for OpTic. There's a great position already set up by B-Dog. He can hold towards main or gonna pick heaven, dash away, a smoke to support, so he only has to be worried about heaven, but instead, OpTic seem focused on heaven. There's 2 players here to receive, and what a jump up!
I mean, the fact that Luminosity fully committed both players from A to go down into elevator 2 definitely helps out for that trade potential, but they could have went back into A. Here they come off the drop of B, and it's all easy peasy here for Tig alongside, oh, there you go, alongside B-Dog and Dazzle. They're just done for, though. It's just going to be LG with the 4th.
Good round there for LG. OpTic decided to make the reinvestment in towards that round, so money will be a little bit shakier coming in towards this one. They work things nicely over towards A. It's a good hold from Moose, and better setup in towards mid. OpTic are close to a few pivotal ults here, though. He already has that Tour de Force online. If Victor could get his overdrive, it starts to look like a recipe for a bit of a potent go-round.
Already going to start off with some util over towards A Heaven. It's going to be very fast for Victor. Fault line alongside the rush, and it works out perfectly.
And somehow that strat just works every time. Stun goes on through Victor, runs straight up the ramp, and now that gives him the overdrive as well. Won't be popped just yet. Instead, bring out that wall, making pressure over towards A, but three players stacked up. Crashies should spot this. All he needs is information here. He's got it. Luminosity will concede the space. And in the meantime, OpTic is working their way out through main. They need something big with the Tour de Force.
Do they even want to retake in a round like this? Against the pistols, you could play such weird, tight off angles on split. On retakes, you just keep getting chipped down one after one, but LG, they were all the way over in mid, but OpTic didn't take their chance and took B.
Pressure reapplied in towards mid, couple slashes into the wall, and now a section broken. They're, I think, just trying to force aggression out of LG, hoping they'll re-push, challenge Ye on the Tour de Force, or at least catch a unlucky timing in that regard. Spike is still positioned towards mid, but Marv's going to start to work his way over towards A. The player mid eyes for nothing, and look what's still on A. Full setup from the Cypher.
Oh, but it's going to be Moose. Yeah, like you said, full setup on the front side, but he still needs the frag to try to compensate for it. Dazzle does pop out of that heavy position, and again, it is only just pistols for these last three players of OpTic. Dazzle holding it down even more, and he has his revive live, and he's looking for an ace too. Ye trying to pop out of the nebula, but the op connects for Ye, but Moose finally gets the kill. 11-5.
Great round there from Dazzle. This guy had such an insane performance in the previous match in the group, the side of Luminosity, and starting to step up here. 11-5, still a tough hill to hop on over, as OpTic will have money back in the tank for them. Mid control continuing to be a bit of a priority in their early rounds. They'll set back up in that area.
Now let's see what Luminosity are actually going to try back over in the mid side, because we've seen that same three-man push twice already early on in this half. Hopefully they're not trying to do it again, but it's not exactly a bad option. This time, though, they are sticking that op all the way down in that mid-side. B-Dog waiting for a peek, and it just doesn't work. His crosshair in the right position, but not exactly his movement.
And Victor really quickly to claim that space over towards Heaven. I just want to disrespect this one. Flash forward, but a wall in the face. Bonk. You're locked out of the sight. Now Mata and Dazzle both there for the frags.
Oh, and FNS, he's just stuck in no man's land in the middle of that slow. And Ye is able to get that trade onto Tig, but at the cost of now a 1v2. He's sprinting all the way over towards A. He does have a trademark back in sewers. These players, of course, from Heaven end up going there, but they haven't budged at all. They're still sticking up there. Ye is going to get an easy plant.
They still do have the Cypher utility here, and that's why they're staying so far back. Camera will be popped off. Timing, Ye could actually sneak past this. There's a kill trip, and that's been pinged out. He's aware of the possibility, and he's timing to the camera. He's worked his way in towards back A, but even that camera up in the late round could be big. Rendezvous is available here for Ye, though.
Ye's trying to hear the camera. Doesn't see Ye. But Ye definitely heard it, knows exactly where it is. Moose is still trying to find Ye. Ye has slipped through Moose. He might actually know that Ye is pushed. What is this position for Ye? Why does Monty even peek that? Oh, my word.
It's so well set up, they expect the aggression. It's because they had a trip over towards vents. It's unlikely that he pushes deep, and because oftentimes you'll see players stuck down there, give Heaven control, retake it in the late round, and they wouldn't expect him to go main, as it's such a tough position to hold in the post, so they just pause. Time is in their favor. They still have that cam off. Really well played. Nice discipline out of LG to deny a Ye clutch.
Like you said, all options covered, even though, again, you would think that that camera would have almost every angle possible, but it just couldn't cover under it. Now we move into finally an awkward situation for the pockets of OpTic. Down to pistols and down to finally a group take potentially.
Still Rolling Thunder. Overdrive available for Victor. Looks like that might just be the plan. FNS again set up for the stun towards Heaven. No one will contest it this time, so unlikely for that play to find value.
It's just going to be that fault line over towards that heaven side, and again, Victor does the dash. There's only one player over in A to try to hold this down. Mata, great push over towards that bottom mid position, had plenty of players to try to trade it out. But again, only Moose here to try to hold it down, and the cage works out to trap them all down. FNS and Ye trying to take back the round, but simply not going to work out. Moose was an easy 3K with a Prime Gaming flawless.
Finally, some clean rounds starting to come through for LG. I think this is where OpTic might want to start considering a timeout. Slow things down. One too many rounds have slipped away. LG been looking good to find these early kills, and there it is. Timeout will be activated. I think enough money coming up for Ye to try out that attack-sided operator if he'd like to. I'd be surprised if he does elect in towards that one. I do want to highlight the Cypher, though. For Moose, he's run a pretty similar setup in so many of these rounds, anchoring towards A, and he's gotten value out of it pretty much every time. That's mirror mode of the previous anti-eco round, where Luminosity just sprayed through the cage, got multiple kills, made the retake easy. With Moose anchoring and buying so much time on site, it allows the retakes towards Heaven to be even more effective from Luminosity.
I'm just worrying for a round like that where Moose, again, is solo. The rest of the team does trust him there, and that setup ends up breaking down. It would have to be that full retake from OpTic. Again, I would like to think that it's low utility, especially with the way that they are pushing down that mid side. It isn't really that substantial. It is really just relying on those dry peaks and trying to get those 1v1s, trying to get those trades over with. But yeah, the setup over on A, it is strong for Moose. It has been pretty consistent so far, but let's not rely on it too much because, again, OpTic, one big take here with some guns, and it could just break down.
Backside operator out. For Ye, B-Dog has one as well. This will be the first round. We're going to proper op versus op duel. OpTic seem to think that this ace site is the weakness, and will look to charge down against Moose. He is alone, so if they can connect a KO knife or just get past the utility, get a lot done here.
Really anything. Moose, very early cage. Getting pulled up, so waiting for players to go on through. This is a very early flash, very early take. The fault line actually stops Victor, but Victor's not going to go into a 1v1, and very good stuff from Moose, where he just backs out looking for a 5v5 retake.
Big shot connects. Ye sticks around too.
Yeah, Ye is just gonna be a turret here. All of these players have to cross up Heaven if they want that control, but the Rolling Thunder actually goes in for Heaven, and they're trying to retake this back. Moose with a big kill, actually retaking A, trying to make his way into Elbow, but you do have the TP back. You have two players safe into A main, but A might be taken right now. They have control of Elbow currently. Look at this push through the smoke. Tig going for a big one, but Moose ends up taking him down, and the showstopper comes out at the same time. So much chaos, but as the dust subsides, it's LG with an 8th.
What an insane round from Luminosity. They hold space heavily in towards Heaven, repeatedly recontested against Ye, and he finds value from the play. But the Aster Wall from OpTic works against them. It allows the resurrection to come through. It puts LG again at a man advantage, and off that res, OpTic felt forced to fight. They wanted to maintain their man advantage. They refight towards main. Things get awkward, and just a couple big kills from Moose, from Dazzle keep things going. Another rifle round slipping away. OpTic will be back down to the eco. They really only have like 2 more rifle rounds left to be able to close this game on out. Things are getting scarce.
Yeah, this should be a timeout for them too.
They used it, I think, just last round. And that's what makes that round even tougher, right? Because they think they have the play, and I think fundamentally it was a good idea. LG just adapted quickly to the setup. They retake that Heaven control so well. They knew what OpTic was doing, and they denied it.
Yeah, more importantly, Moose was fighting tooth and nail for that A position whenever he was actually holding on to it. I mean, just that small adjustment, going back, playing a lot more safely, did allow for a lot better of a retake, and he ended up getting 2 kills for his favor off the retake. Here comes the rifles of LG, combining in that mid side, holding back OpTic. 2 players going down, B-Dog still holding the cross against Ye. Ye goes through, and okay, nice. The one-way smoke ends up leading potentially for that frag for Tig, and with a Prime Gaming flawless, Moose gets the last.
This is getting unnerving here for OpTic. Luminosity doing so well to rally back. Slow start for B-Dog. Now the operator in hand. He's finding a lot of value. It was a good hold here. Towards mid, locks things down. A crossfire with Mata. This is what I was really waiting to see that entire first half. This is a composition that really does rely on B-Dog and Mata having big performances. And, well, they had their moments. In the first half, it was OpTic's utility proving just too punishing. Stories have been swapped now. Ye. And with the operator, full guns to work with still, but no big round-changing ults on the table. OpTic will take space early and towards B main, and they push back both the Omen and Raze.
Jared does maintain and B main control for now, but it's just going to be this real slow. Oh yeah, so close. No, but real slow default at this point. Spike all the way back in spawn. Ye now maintains the position because of that.
Really good angle to get posted here. They know where that cam is and get rid of it. That's good denial of information. Love is taking this fight over towards Heaven and setting up to maybe attempt to do so again. Aware of it though. Young on the other side. Crashy's taking space back towards mid. It looks like they want to end this one with a split in towards A. They haven't really committed to a play in this regard. Heaven has definitely been their issue, so a good call, but they have to get past B-Dog.
Early cage here. It's actually going to be for Moose to try to rotate back towards his spawn.
Just to support his teammate here. B-Dog gets one, gets out. Moose is in a position to aid. It looks like they want to cancel the play, though. Or at least for a moment, double back. That wall is still up in Heaven, though. So breaking that, or at least providing pressure, I still don't think it'll pull a rotate, because they still have this paranoia play set up. Shots back didn't do anything. B-Dog is still here.
Yeah, because they have the players over in Raptor Paranoia ready, but it is going to be the takeover on A. They are going to use that neon wall, leading immediately into that A site. Moose, he needed to push the Nebula to even have a chance to get back into this round, and indeed it works out. 15 seconds left, though. OpTic are going to be able to get the plant.
Plant is down, but we haven't seen the retakes here from Luminosity. Their composition can struggle with it. Those lacking flashes means it's going to be tough to clear Ye.
Ye still fighting, gonna be able to get one. Now it's just a point-and-click adventure game for him. So many more bodies over in Heaven, but they use one of their few smokes for it. But Tig, he saved up both. He ends up using both in incredibly important positions, and in comes the drop. They can't get trades back from Ye either. This is perfect from Luminosity with only one piece of utility. Ye on his lonesome has to run away, and it's gonna be a 10th for Luminosity.
Somehow, we come out here, we're trying to have big buck hunting season. Someone's trying to get rid of the Moose. And he just keeps killing people. He just keeps holding his space. He does not want to give up this A site, and every single time that OpTic try and commit over towards A, value is found from Moose. Either his setup or just his individual prowess. OpTic, they haven't won a single A site post plant. The retakes have been great. Normally, Ye is so good. I've been hyping it up in holding that space over towards Heaven, but he hasn't been able to do so. Normally it's one, get out, and then the retake is so fast in sight that he finds himself sectioned off from the team. Sure, Operator is saved in this one, but beyond that overdrive, not a lot more working for OpTic.
Again, down to pistols, down to the Petri dish buy. 2 rounds essentially remaining here for OpTic. Try to stay in this game. Luminosity, they are booting quite a bit of pressure back over in B main. Look at this position here from Mata.
He's getting nervous about it, though. They'll look to fall on back, but probably a better play in the grand scheme of things. A crossfire and back sight between him and Tig. If this sight hit comes to fruition, still full utility available for that raise. Could be big to stall. Yeah, just holding for the jump peek. If he takes his shot, I think that's the call to activate. They'll go now.
Oh. Huge combo here. You get the suck, you get the fall line,
no.
you get the stuns, but it still doesn't work out. Tig and Dazzle both get big frags. Mata doing the exact same. Marv and Ye the last 2 remaining. And that Sheriff is actually looking pretty sharp. Mata very low on HP. Ye's trying to find him, but can't find the battle in the back of sight either. He ends up winning that 1v1 against Moose, and he could really make that possible against Mata. But instead, 11-11. We are somehow tied here on split.
What a hold there from Luminosity Gaming. They just locked down space in towards the backside. An excellent smoke out of Tig, and while the play was good for Victor to route around the right side, avoid the smoke, try and get a backstab to the player in the grav well. It didn't matter. Tig just takes the one stab, despite the pull, despite the stun, and wins things out. Sure, it was an eco round, so it's fine that OpTic lose it, but this rifle round, really their last chance. They lose here, money's going to be in a tough spot, and Luminosity might just be able to close the map.
There goes the B main control. Luminosity were at least trying to feint it. It's not going to happen. Double stars going into that mid side. OpTic just trying to get as much early control as possible.
Mid control hasn't been a big priority. A lot more focus, or excuse me, not the deep mid control where you're pushing in towards B heaven. Instead, it's normally these rounds. OpTic is kind of routing in towards vents, looking to finish towards A. That's generally been their tendency. Again, they'll take that space mid. A great play forward from LG. Garage control is theirs. The orb recoverable if they'd like it. I know it's close enough to justify the risk. They'll fall away. For the moment, it's all 5 players from OpTic. Sit in mid.
Waiting for a pixel, waiting for an opportunity. But nobody is here. Everyone's staying very, very safe. Tig isn't even playing Rafters in terms of that contact over in Heaven. He's going to get a very low contact. to try to potentially get a response from Dazzle, but that's big. I was about to say, the reinvestment of Util over back in B-man was going to be massive. LG got that full control, but it only required a fault line to do it. Here comes Dazzle. Dazzle around the corner, going to be able to get one. Tig needs to go in, and indeed he does. 3 more players remaining here for OpTic, needing to fight Victor and FNS. Well, only one of them is able to get a couple of frags. FNS has 3 players remaining here with just about 15 seconds left. He even has a rolling thunder to deal with. How is he going to be able to take this one? Oh, okay. He ends up getting revealed. He was pressured to actually go up, and it's going to be a 12th for Luminosity. Somehow the comeback has been complete for now, but the game isn't done.
Oh, not quite yet. Luminosity Gaming here. I mean, OpTic, they've only found 3 rounds where they've gotten the first kill, and none of those they've converted thus far this half. That is fairly unheard of for this team. Generally so good in these opening gambits, especially when they're playing this Neon Chamber comp. Get someone forward, take an opening fight. Both Ye and Victor are so good at it, but LG has been shutting down, and their late rounds have looked even better. Moose and Odin to spam through towards the A site. The anchors here, it's again falling into the hands of Tig and Mada on the B site.
Rare rolling thunder at this point. We just haven't seen this ulti have a lot of impact so far in this half, and it's such an important ultimate on a map like Split. It goes into B, but it doesn't catch anyone, but it definitely pushes his opponents back towards spawn. The wall goes up for Dazzle, but Ye's able to take it down. Here comes the push once again into the smoke. Crashies goes in, but goes down to Tig. Such an awkward scenario, but somehow the plane is still going through, and over in spawn, Victor pushes in. A 3v3 for Luminosity. 2 players over in heaven, make it only 1. Victor takes down yet another one. Tig, he drops right behind the wall. FNS might have seen the rifle, and FNS gets the kill. 1 more kill remaining now for OpTic to push this into overtime. It's B-Dog needing to come in from his spawn.
Tucked in close behind the wall. Noted is Victor. He's holding this angle, and Victor is just so damn good. 3 kills in that round. Keeps OpTic alive. Pulls them to overtime.
What a way to do it. Luminosity, they had the advantage at the beginning, Mimi.
They did. I mean, this is a round that started all right for this team. Great kills in towards heaven, holding the space, but just heroics out of Victor. Now overtime. Side switch, and for Luminosity, their attacking side left so much to be desired. Round after round of getting pummeled by OpTic utility here. It feels that this game might just rely, at least in overtime, and who can win that first attacking sided round. LG, nothing too crazy cooked up off the rip. Just looking like a similar default to what they've been running. Heavy towards mid, Cypher holding space in A.
Again, Luminosity shocking OpTic with this map pick. A map pick that hasn't been picked a single time either against them or for them. They've taken OpTic all the way to overtime. The contest over in mid is going to be Ye in his off angle. He does have the rendezvous to get himself out of there, but it's still very tight. If LG actually opt to go in, but they don't. Not a single one of these 3 players opt to go in and peek out Ye, but it's just going to be very fast through heaven. FNS just has to hold it down on his own. How does he get 3 there? And Marved just here for the cleanup. He takes down Tig. They have no idea where Moose is. He's all the way on the other side of the map. Just about a minute left in the round, and surely it has to be OpTic's unless Moose can do something massive.
He's already been hard. Angle's being held here in mid. B-main has 2 players set up as well. Ye is alone, though, and he doesn't have a rendezvous to get out. I think this angle could be a bit of a risk, but he just doesn't seem ready for it, Ye. We'll find the shutdown in the end. Map point re-secured here. For OpTic Gaming, or at least for the first time secured. It felt like it was them in favor, at least in that first half, but now they get their go of things on the attacking side. I would really just like to see them continue with these pace changes. Generally, these slower defaults weren't working, and they were really struggling to find space, and then in these late rounds, they're pushing into sites that are still so heavily contested with utility. They can somehow isolate Moose, get a blast back in the right spot, get rid of those trips, find space in towards A, that'd be great, but they still struggle with those post plants, and I've been surprised with how strong Luminosity has been on that retake, led up by players like Moose, players like Tig, whose util can be so potent in those situations.
You're right, by the way. OpTic had such a reliance on their attacking side in terms of those early round defaults. Of course, they never actually worked out as a traditional default, and then actually trying to scale up, trying to get their own individual map control. But LG, it did get a good grasp on things pretty damn quickly, because OpTic, again, only later on in those rounds when they were already dry out of that utility, ended up making their takes. So yeah, let's see a bit of a switch up, because again, when we end up seeing OpTic on that attacking side, we do get a lot more of that effect from players like Victor.
Yeah, but I don't want to see a complete switch. I think that the strength for OpTic when they play these compositions is, I talked about it earlier, it's the early round aggression to get openers. I think of that round where they send the Neon up towards ramp. There's been multiple circumstances where that worked out. If they can punish a player from LG in these early positions, they can do so well, then reset in the mid-round, play their 4v5. That actually seems to be the decision here. Stun over towards B main. They pressure players back. Wall goes up, but nothing more beyond it. I think they're just trying to draw rotations, maybe get Ye up the ramp. I think the hope was to punish a player there that was peeking towards main, similar to what I was talking about, but no one contests, and now Ye's starting to work his way back. He hasn't seen re-aggression towards A, so nothing to punish there, but now the re-aggression actually coming late into the round. Two players walking down the ramp, but no one actually asserting space in mid for Luminosity Gaming. Just a deep hold in towards heaven.
Yeah, he's going to go back in mid. He's going to start kicking himself. He knows that he wanted this play back over in A. He knows that he wanted that aggressive push. But here over in heaven, a wall that's been placed down for a bit of time now should start to deteriorate in just a little bit. But look at this gap! Look at this gap! What is that gap in the wall? Mata throws in a massive nade, but they have to run away from it. Yeah, they're fine, but the wall is still up, and it's still pretty fresh.
Yeah, but I think he only spotted one player in that gap. Noise was made on the rope here.
Oh.
They're so far forward in A main, no one's going to rotate. LG can stick to this three-player stack on the B site. That is where the execute will come for OpTic.
They're not going to let it go. Tig, he ends up getting caught out of nowhere. But Mata, oh no, he definitely did make noise. They know that he's here, and he just has to fight as much as he can. It's just not going to work out. Two more players remaining now for LG versus 3 of OpTic.
Full flank coming through from Moose. There is no utility to hold it, but FNS has an angle in the back lines and over towards heaven as well. Crashies is locking things down. These players split, separated. For Luminosity and the time continuing to work against them. No big utility. Barbie Dogs dash to be able to work this back.
Yeah, all 3 possible entries onto the site being watched right now for OpTic. No crossfires, just detecting if anyone's there. What a headshot from FNS, and it's going to be the finisher from Marved onto B-Dog. OpTic, they somehow once again scrap together at the very end, and they win.